There's a dark patch of skin that could be warning you about insulin resistance. Years before diabetes even starts, most people think it's dirt or friction. They try scrubbing it off, it doesn't come off. But as an endocrinologist, when I see this on a patient, it immediately makes me think about one thing: chronically high insulin. And here's the scary part. According to NHANES data published in StatPearls, 40% of American adults aged 18 to 44 already have measurable insulin resistance. A 2025 meta-analysis in Frontiers in Endocrinology found a global prevalence of roughly 26%, millions of people, and most of them have absolutely no idea. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Steve, and by the end of this video, I'll show you the #1 warning sign most people completely ignore, the other symptoms that usually come with it, why standard blood tests miss it for years, and what actually works to reverse it naturally. If you care about hormones, metabolism, and evidence-based health, subscribe, because this channel is built for exactly that, and one of the signs I'm going to show you today can appear years before your glucose ever becomes abnormal. So stay with me. Let me explain what's actually happening inside your body. Every time you eat, especially carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises. Your pancreas releases insulin. And insulin tells your cells, open up, take in this glucose, use it for energy. That's how it's supposed to work. But here's the problem. When you eat too many processed carbs, too often for too many years, combined with poor sleep, chronic stress, and not enough movement, your cells start ignoring insulin. They become resistant. They stop opening the door. Your pancreas doesn't quit. It just produces more and more and more insulin, trying to force the door open. So now you have dangerously high insulin levels, but your blood sugar, it might still look perfectly normal on a standard test because the pancreas is compensating, working overtime, burning itself out. Your doctor looks at the results and says everything looks fine, but everything is not fine. Chronically elevated insulin is already causing damage, silently for months or even years before glucose finally rises. I had a patient, 43 years old, came in for fatigue and stubborn belly fat. His fasting glucose? Normal. His A1C? Normal. His doctor told him he was fine, but the first thing I noticed wasn't his weight. It was the dark skin on the back of his neck and small skin tags under his arms. When I checked his fasting insulin and ran a HOMA IR, he was clearly insulin resistant, and he had no idea. This is far more common than people realize. So what exactly is that skin change? It's called Acanthosis nigricans, dark, thick, velvety patches, usually on the back of the neck, the armpits, sometimes the groin, the knuckles, or the elbows. This happens because when insulin is chronically elevated, it stimulates skin cells to reproduce faster than normal. The skin thickens and darkens. It's not dirt, it's not a tan, it won't wash off no matter how hard you scrub. And here's what most people miss. This is not a cosmetic issue, it's a metabolic signal. Your body is literally showing you on the surface what's going wrong on the inside. Research published in the International Journal of Dermatology found that Acanthosis nigricans and skin tags are both significantly associated with insulin resistance, even in patients who don't have diabetes. Now, an important note, Acanthosis nigricans is strongly linked to insulin resistance, but it can also be caused by certain medications, other hormonal conditions, and in rare cases, it can be associated with more serious health issues. So if it appears suddenly, spreads quickly, or looks unusual, and don't self-diagnose, see a doctor. But in the vast majority of cases, especially when it develops gradually in someone who's overweight, tired, and craving sugar, it's pointing directly at high insulin. So Acanthosis nigricans is the most visible sign, but it's not the only one. Here are 5 other signals your body sends when insulin is running too high. #1, skin tags. Small, soft growths, usually on the neck and underarms. Studies show that among overweight and obese non-diabetic subjects, 77% of those with elevated insulin had skin tags. The researchers called them a cutaneous marker of impaired carbohydrate metabolism. #2, belly fat that won't go away no matter what you do. Here's why. Visceral fat, the fat packed around your organs, has 2 to 4 times more cortisol receptors than the fat under your skin. When insulin and cortisol are both elevated, your body preferentially stores fat in the abdomen. This is why some people exercise, eat less, do everything right, and the belly still won't move. #3, crashing after meals. You eat lunch, and 30 minutes later you can barely keep your eyes open. That's not normal. When your cells resist insulin, glucose can't get inside efficiently. Your body has fuel in the bloodstream, but it can't access it. You just ate, and yet you feel completely drained. #4, brain fog. Trouble concentrating, forgetting things. A kind of mental heaviness, especially after carb-heavy meals. Insulin resistance doesn't just affect your muscles and liver, it directly impacts brain function. And many people live with this for years thinking it's just aging. #5, constant sugar cravings. When your blood sugar crashes after an insulin spike, your brain panics and demands the fastest fuel source it can find: pure sugar. This isn't weakness, this isn't a discipline problem. It's a hormonal feedback loop. If you're experiencing 3 or more of these together, don't ignore it. It's worth investigating. day. Now here's the part that frustrates me as a doctor. Most standard blood panels only check fasting glucose and maybe hemoglobin A1C, and both of those can stay in the normal range for years, sometimes a decade, while insulin resistance is already progressing underneath. Why? Because your pancreas compensates. It produces more and more insulin to keep glucose in check. The system is under enormous strain, but the standard test doesn't see the strain, it only sees the result. It's like checking the speedometer of a car and saying speed is fine, but the engine is overheating, the transmission is slipping, and the fuel is almost gone. The car is still moving, but it's falling apart. So what should you actually ask your doctor for? First, fasting insulin. Not fasting glucose, fasting insulin. This is the single most important test that most people never get. Second, HOMA-IR. It's a simple calculation using your fasting insulin and fasting glucose. It tells you how well your cells are actually responding to insulin. Not just what your sugar level is, but whether the system is working properly. Third, triglycerides. High triglycerides, especially combined with low HDL cholesterol, is a classic metabolic pattern that often comes with insulin resistance. And fourth, measure your waist circumference. It sounds simple, but visceral fat distribution is one of the strongest clinical predictors of metabolic dysfunction. If your doctor says your sugar is fine, but you have belly fat, skin changes, fatigue after eating, and brain fog, don't just accept it. Ask for the right tests. Advocate for yourself. So what actually causes insulin resistance to develop? It's not one single thing. It's a combination of factors that build on each other over time. Ultra-processed food is the biggest driver. Refined carbohydrates and added sugars cause repeated blood sugar spikes, which trigger repeated insulin spikes. Do that hundreds of times a year, year after year, and your cells adapt by becoming resistant. But it's not only food. Sleep deprivation plays a massive role. A 2022 randomized controlled study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology tracked healthy, non-obese adults through 14 days of restricted sleep, just 4 hours per night. CT scans showed that visceral fat increased significantly during sleep restriction, but didn't change at all during normal sleep. And the most striking part, total body weight didn't differ much between the groups. The damage was happening on the inside. A 2024 meta-analysis in the Endocrine Journal examined the relationship between acute sleep deprivation and cortisol. The findings suggest that sleep loss may alter cortisol regulation, particularly when measured through serum samples, which can further impair insulin sensitivity and promote fat storage. Chronic stress keeps your cortisol elevated, which directly worsens insulin sensitivity and drives abdominal fat accumulation. And physical inactivity. Your muscles are one of the single largest consumers of glucose in your entire body. When you stop using them, insulin has nowhere to send the sugar. It just circulates, and your pancreas has to work even harder. All of these factors are connected, and they compound silently over years. Now, the most important part, what actually works. Insulin resistance is reversible, especially when you catch it early, and you don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Here's a practical protocol. Week 1, restructure every meal around protein and fiber first. This slows glucose absorption and flattens insulin spikes. Practical example, instead of cereal or toast for breakfast, eggs, vegetables, and a handful of nuts. Instead of pasta alone for dinner, add a large portion of protein and greens before the carbs. You're not eliminating carbs. You're changing the order and the ratio. Week 2, add a 10 to 15 minute walk after your 2 biggest meals. This is one of the most effective, most underrated interventions for blood sugar regulation. It costs nothing. It takes barely any time, and the research behind it is extremely strong. Week 3, fix your sleep. 7 to 8 hours minimum. No negotiation. Dim lights an hour before bed. No screens in the bedroom. Cool room. Consistent wake time, even on weekends. The data is clear. Short sleep directly worsens insulin resistance and promotes visceral fat. Week 4, introduce resistance training 2 to 3 times per week. You don't need a gym. Bodyweight exercises, bands, dumbbells, anything that challenges your muscles. Resistance training directly improves insulin sensitivity by giving glucose somewhere to go. And this becomes increasingly critical after the age of 40. And throughout all of this, work on reducing chronic stress. Not with an app, not with a technique, by genuinely addressing the things in your life that keep your nervous system locked in survival mode, because your body cannot heal metabolically while it's stuck in a stress response. You don't need to do all of this perfectly, but doing even 2 or 3 of these consistently will begin shifting your metabolic trajectory within weeks. I've seen it happen hundreds of times. Insulin resistance is not a diagnosis most people get until it's already become pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, and by then, you've lost years of prevention. Years of feeling better, years of protecting your brain, your heart, and your energy. The signs are there. Your body shows them. The question is whether you're paying attention. If this video helped you understand something about your health that you didn't know before, hit like and subscribe. I'm Dr. Steve, and on this channel, we break down the real science behind hormones, metabolism, healthy aging, and longevity in a way that actually makes sense. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.